are OMG It's Just Day on Twitter, but I'm at Just Day on Instagram and pretty much everywhere else. And we are drinking Franzia wine today. Our chillable red was our go-to. This is our women's empowerment / feminism episode. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. You can follow me on Instagram at McWilsonN89. Follow me.
Big facts. Do y'all see the evolution?
It's
of
growth.
It's like I every time it's just great. Anyways, you guys should know me by now. It's AngelLeeTv. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. We need subscribers. Please subscribe to our channel. It costs you nothing, but it helps us a whole lot. Also, make sure that you guys are following us on Anchor, because if you can't watch us, you can always listen to us.
Anchor
is great.
Spotify.
Yes. All that.
Facebook.
Yes.
Instagram.
Yep. You can follow us on
or
Facebook.
platform.
Thank you for watching us on YouTube. We doubled our follower count.
Yes. But it means a lot to us because that means that there's like a lot of y'all out there that are enjoying the content. Oh, if you're wondering what this blue, wonderful deliciousness is in these wonderful bowls, we made a cocktail. It is a fish bowl. It had fish in it initially, but after like the first pour and letting the little Swedish fish sit in here, the Swedish fish and the nerds that we put at the bottom become very gross. So we poured those out, and now we're just literally drinking the cocktail. So, cheers.
I still got my fishies.
They don't taste good.
They're not fishies anymore. They're some other sort of sea animal that lives at the bottom of your gut.
Alright, so we're talking about women's empowerment and feminism. Yes. It's just trying to create equality between the sexes, mostly is how, like, it is like the very, very watered down definition of feminism. There's also intersectional feminism, which a lot of people don't really understand.
Well, make them understand what that is. Make them understand.
Intersectional feminism is the understanding of the fact that feminism, when it first came about, it was mostly a white girls movement, because they actually had the right to vote before the black woman had the right to vote. We were still taking care of white women's kids, and we didn't really have any rights back in the day. And they were like, well, we should fight for all girls' rights before we fight for, well, like, even like when you fast forward, you still got that. We're going to fight for all women's rights instead of, like, getting, like, super into the nitty-gritty and realizing, wait, a white woman for the same job in some places makes more than a black woman, even though sometimes a black woman might be more qualified for that, or a Hispanic woman might be more qualified for that. But because this systematic racism still exists to this day, that those type of things still exist to the point where we have to help each other out by banding together and believing in intersectional feminism, because even if it means tapping your coworker on the shoulder and be like, hey, how much do you make?
Real talk.
That's not like, what I love about millennials is not a taboo conversation. We are the overshare generation, so how much do you make could actually be helping the workforce more than it could be hurting it, even if the employer doesn't like it. Some employers actually don't want you to share that for that very exact reason.
They actually say that. Like, a couple of interviews I've been on, they literally tell you, this is what you make, but could you please not share this with any of the people that you work with? And didn't he any of that. I shared it because a lot of the people that I work with were men that were doing the same job, if not under me. And I'm like, why do you seem like you making it and I'm not? So I would ask, like, out of curiosity, what are you making an hour? Because, not make some excuse of like, oh yeah, my cousin's trying to get a job and I just want to kind of give him an idea of what, you're making. So he has an idea. What do you make an hour? And they would say it, and I'm like, why is this guard making like $2 more than me and I've been here for extra, little things like that can help bring the wage gap to people's attention. Like, yo.
I wrote a letter, I came in as a temp. I work in IT, and the guy that got hired after me got promoted before me because it was on some nepotism type stuff. It was someone knew someone. He was related to a supervisor type situation, and I wrote an email to my supervisor he got promoted, and I definitely probably should have gotten promoted beforehand because X, Y, Z. Also, I helped train him. Also, what is happening? I always give reasons why I think I deserve a promotion, not just I just deserve a promotion.
Like, I just want more money. No. I have a reason as to why I think I deserve more money.
Moist.
Talking to you. Nope.
Alright, so we talked about the finance part of women's rights and intersectionality and what that means. And there's also, I don't know if you've read, but remember how way back older generations told the younger generation, well, if you can't take care of kids, don't have them. If you can't afford kids, don't have them.
Yep.
Well, we didn't have any kids. This is a whole generation that was like, literally, F them kids, because more people are dying now than in the United States than...
people are having kids replenished. Yep.
It is that's very interesting. It's yay. People actually have control of their body, and they're choosing I can't afford to have kids. I'm not going to do it.
What's up? Because it's a burden to not only them, but it's a burden on the system. Like, you obviously couldn't afford this child, and now you want someone else to fund your bad decision. I don't want to do that. So they just said, no, we're not going to have any kids. No, I'm okay with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
All of that.
The generation that was before us, there was the boomers, and there are more there are more senior citizens right now than there's ever been. And they're like, who's going to take care of the senior citizens? How are we going to keep up Social Security if the population, the working population, doesn't accommodate for that? Well, they should have thought about the math. Those same people that they told not to have kids, they were probably counting on their kids to help them fund their Social Security. You're worried about the next generation having Social Security.
I was like, the jury is out. The jury is out.
The way the world and society is going right now, everything's up in the air.
Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not sure how
but
that's going to
it was like an economic, financial cause and effect type.
Mm-hmm.
It was a domino effect when the population type thing goes down. But we are a very overly educated generation when it comes to holding degrees, but degrees don't mean nothing.
Sure.
You need a degree for some customer service positions.
Real talk.
But one,
I digress. I'm like,
when we were talking about intersectionality, Black women are in the United States are some of the most educated women, but you don't hear this
never
echoed throughout the news. But they're some of the most educated people, demographics.
because we don't have no choice. Real talk. No shade.
We gotta work twice as hard.
No shade.
Exactly.
No shade. No shade. I'm
And
just
someone
saying.
without a degree that's
Right.
not Black.
And even once you get the degree, you gotta prove that you got that degree.
And
So
that's kind
they
of
just pass you because you're Black.
that kind of pivots to another decent feminism, intersectional topic that is. I've seen and read the report of the state of Black Pittsburgh so many times that it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, don't show me that. Figure out a solution. Don't show me it until you tell me you figured out a solution, because I don't want to be on a panel to tell you about what it says. We're going to start regurgitating it.
Right.
And we'll do something about it. But Pittsburgh has, our maternal rates in the Black community are absolutely horrendous. They're very low. And it's a lot of, because, not just Pittsburgh, but all over the country, there are a lot, I guess there aren't enough Black doctors that Black women aren't being heard.
At all.
Like, when they say they're in, like, there is actually a study that was not really, like, actual intellectual credited study that dates from way back in the day that says Black people experience pain and can tolerate higher amounts of pain than their counterparts. And doctors no, it's not true. Doctors believe this.
I know.
Doctors believe this for some terrible reason.
And that goes back to the stuff that they used to put out as doctrine back in slavery. It's the same thing saying that we weren't human, we were subhuman. That, we didn't bleed the same, that we were closer to primates and all that other stuff. And so now they've, upgraded this. Oh, well, you're a Black woman, you have a higher pain tolerance, you'll be all right. What?
Like, in some undeveloped countries, their maternal rate is higher than what our Black maternal rate is in the United States. And we're a developed country. And the issue is because a lot of times it's just, again, not being heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a thing where they said, oh, well, maybe if women deepen their voice. Who wants to do that? I feel like I shouldn't have to do that to be heard. I go into a doctor's office and I say, hey, something's hurting me. I feel like they should be like, okay, what is it? When did it start? Not, oh, it's probably, are you about to come on your cycle? Then, yeah, most things hurt. No, I don't want to hear that. I want you to hear what I'm saying. Something's hurting and I need you to fix it. Can you please run a couple of tests? Why should I have to go through, jump over hoops and all that other stuff just because I'm a woman and you think for some reason in your mind that I over-exaggerate? Oh, you're just being dramatic. Would you say that to a man? If I was a 6'2" Black man, would you say that to him? I promise you wouldn't. That's a lot of these problems could just be solved with someone just listening.
Pretty much. I feel like if there were more women leaders across the United States and more Black doctors across the United States, we would, like, one of my friends, I told her, when she told me her doctor wasn't listening to her, I told her, you need to find a Black doctor, because a lot of the time, a lot of these Black doctors actually, because they know how it feels to not be heard, that they're actually, like, listening to people. Like, there was this one doctor, I don't think this person was actually Black, but they actually had a decent approach to how when someone came in and was like, hey, something's wrong, doctors immediately know that you were at home Googling something before you came.
Right.
And this doctor in particular was like, so let me know what you think is wrong. Like,
right.
Let me know what you think
and
is wrong.
And don't dismiss it. Like, a lot of times, okay, yes, I'm not a proponent for WebMD. I'm not saying that you should Google anything. But a lot of times when you're scared,
you don't communicate.
You're just like, well, maybe I can look it up so I can be able to kind of say, hey, I think it might be this. It's great to have a doctor that says, let me tell me what you think it is. I'll cross-reference your symptoms and see if it is. Because what if you're right? We could just save a whole lot of time. Hey, you know what? You're right. You do have
But also, you might be giving the doctor some information that they didn't know.
Right.
Because they didn't know.
Next patient comes in that they really have what you Googled. And they're like, hey, you know what? I had a patient with just, you know what? I know exactly how to treat this because you have this. That's what this is. Like, I hate the dismissive stuff. I hate the, oh, well, that's definitely not what it is. How do you know? You didn't even even take any tests. You didn't even check to see. It could be this. Why would you just dismiss this?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You go through medical school, you're filling your Cheerios, you know everything, right? You're the know-all of know-alls. I get it. I completely get it. But sometimes your job is to listen to your patient and just fall down that rabbit hole and just say, hey, I looked down this and I can honestly rule this out. To make the patient feel better. Like, thank you so much, because I was Googling it and I started to panic because it looked like I had these symptoms, and now you're saying I don't. Great. Now we can work to find out what's actually wrong with you.
Yep. So what are some of your issues with feminism?
As a whole?
As a whole. Do you feel like feminism addresses women who are LGBTQ?
I don't. I don't. Because I feel like feminism was founded in a day and age where a lot of the things that we have going on now and a lot of the identities that we have now didn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
We have so many layers at this point. I feel like it's almost like the Constitution. We need to revamp all of this to be inclusive of all the things that feminism should encompass.
But the issue, I think, a lot of time it comes to, there's a couple of issues. There's issues of if some people come to agree that intersectional feminism needs to be addressed on a level of sexuality and race and all that, they also would have to come to terms with racism existing, because there are a lot of people who are feminists and they're like, oh, racism doesn't exist, I don't see color, and that's problematic. And then there's also the issue of there's so many layers to feminism, to the point where some people are like, nope, we want this one size fits all approach to this. If some of us get our rights first, that's okay, we'll come back for you type situation.
Nobody got time for them to come back to nothing. Okay, here, I got a great analogy for this one size fits all thing, right? How come we can't get somebody to modify, strategies and techniques and ways of handling feminism to fit everyone? But we can go out and arrange condoms to fit mostly everybody. Like, someone really sat down and was like, oh, we're going to make sure we got a magnum size, a small size, some people that are allergic to latex. We're going to make sure everybody gets what they need. But when it comes to things that are actually important, I'm not saying that's not important. Yeah, sure. But this is something that's gone on for years. And it's grown. There are different categories and there are different layers. And I feel like this should grow with everyone else. What is the purpose of eliminating something?
And some people are like, is it really equality? Also, because there are a lot of grants out there for women, because women they're playing catch up, kind of. It's like, oh, women need help because we haven't been helping them in the past, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. And people are like, well, isn't that sexist for you giving this person help and not giving their male counterparts help?
No, because they've been getting help. They didn't even have to ask for it. It was just automatic. It's automatic. It's automatic. And God forbid that you're a woman who feels that you can do something on your own. They hold it against you. They literally hold that shit against you.
Because if you're a great leader and you're a strong leader,
then they think that you're a bitch.
So you can't say that. You can't say that on YouTube, can you?
Yes, you can. You can say, yes, they think you're a bitch.
Can you?
They think you are a bitch. If you are a strong, independent woman, black,
you shouldn't have to choose between nice, and you shouldn't have to. You could be nice and strong, and that doesn't make you the B word.
Real talk. Just because, okay, like if you, I don't know. Someone comment. Let us know how many times, because I think we've used 3.
And it's crazy because there's still so many firsts that are happening for women. Like, first woman to do this or first woman to do that. And then it's 2021. Why are we still having first women occupations?
And it's not, I mean, that's not to get off subject, but we're still having first, like, transgender and all these other things. And I'm like, I can't wait until we get to the point where this isn't a ooh moment or an ah moment. It's just a norm moment. Like, I mean, yes, everyone should be celebrated for accomplishments that are above and beyond. But it should never be a first at this point. It shouldn't be a first at this point. It should be, this is how we live. I don't understand why we.
So we just have to figure out, like, collectively where we go from here. We have to make sure to share salaries with each other, look out for one another. Also, get out of our bubble and be an ally a lot of the times.
Real talk.
Whether it is our Asian American counterparts or whether it is African Americans, we got to be there for each other because we know the people of color plight, but we also have to help educate. It shouldn't be our responsibility to do so, but when we feel like it, we definitely should educate our counterparts and how to be an appropriate ally and not appropriate.
Oh no. Oh no. Are we getting ready to get into white boy summer? Because I feel like
we did that already.
I know, but I feel like you said appropriation and it just triggered white boy summer. But if you have to look at the other episode. But yeah, a lot of times we have people that just don't know no better. They're really thirsty to learn. They want to know, and it is our job to make them feel comfortable with learning, and not make them feel uncomfortable when they ask questions. Because a lot of our allies really are coming at us with open arms and completely unbiased. They just want to know the truth and want us to, you know what I'm saying? So try, somebody asks you, well, why does this offend you? Like, what? Could you please explain this to me? Because I don't understand. Don't take offense to it. Literally, just explain it to them. Like, and don't take an attitude. Don't say it in a bad way. Just literally take that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long, and just educate somebody and let them know what it is. Because a lot of people don't know, and I'm sure we all have things that we don't know. And I wish more people would just be like, you know what? I'm gonna take this 5-10 minutes and just
read a book or
this is
Google
why.
it at least.
Yeah, like, okay, come on, sit down. I'm gonna run this down for you.
Like,
this is why I feel this way.
Just don't call black people ignorant for being hesitant, especially like when it comes to things like medical science, because black people have had such they've had so much terror in the medical field, especially their ancestors, just looking up things. Just read a book and Google it. Like, hey, the medical field and black people have definitely not been on the same team for quite some time. I used to be like I grew up as the only girl most of the time, and then I went to an all-girls college. The dorms were all girls. And I used to think that, like, oh, racism only exists in older people until I got to college, because I went to a really, really diverse high school. So I was like, racism only occurs with older people. Then I went to college and I was like, oh,
never mind.
A lot of these young white girls are racist because their older counterparts taught them those values. I was like, oh, okay. And for some, I went to, it was women's only dorms because it was a women's centered university. So I was like, oh, this is a lot to unpack. And even though I was in college, you weren't, like, I wasn't developed enough educationally, and I didn't know enough about feminism and intersectionality to delve into that and address that. Like, I was one of the leaders in the Black Student Union, and I made these shirts, and I remember they said Black by popular demand before that was trademarked, and one of the students asked why there was no white student union, and they felt offended that it said Black by popular demand. And I'm sure this person, I mean, I'm hoping
that they didn't come at you with like, oh, I'm angry. But what if you guys really honestly didn't understand that?
Mm-hmm.
And they really just don't know history. They just don't know why. Like, I mean, okay, that seems not inclusive. Like, maybe they're from another country. I don't know. Take that 5 minutes and be like, this is, okay, come here. This is why. 5 minutes and say, hey, you know what? You wonder what's going on? Let me inform you. It's kind of like catching somebody up on a series.
Hopefully someone gets something from this episode, and we took a surface dive on feminism and intersectionality, and if we didn't mention something and you were like, hey, I wish you would have talked about that, let us know in the comment section, and we may address it in a future episode, and we might take a deeper dive into feminism and intersectionality and women's empowerment.
Yeah, real talk, because we read every comment. And I know there's a lot of people out there that they're like, oh, I have so many comments. We read every comment. We answer every single comment. So, yeah, we really would appreciate your feedback and letting us know if there's any part of any conversation that you watch and you're like, I wish you guys had talked about this, or I wish you had said something like this. We appreciate all of it.
We accept criticism. That means we're doing something right. If people like us, and if people don't like us, that also means we're doing something right. But if everyone likes us, that means we're doing something wrong, because no one likes everyone. If I got someone that's a hater, that means I'm doing something right, because
that means you ruffled some feathers. You stirred up a discussion. People are talking about you. Like, yeah, they are, actually.
Leave us comments. I'm excited for the next episodes. We're just going down the list, and it's gonna be amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry, guys.
She's been drinking all day. That's so.
Literally.
Oh man. Alright, well we appreciate you guys for watching. We hope that you got as much as you can get from this episode. I hope that you bring this to your families and you discuss it further. I hope you go online and research these topics that we're talking about. Hey, fact check us. We love that. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're watching. Again, one more time for the people in the back. Subscribe. We love you much, but we do need subscribers. So if you're watching this and you enjoy what we're talking about, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Anchor, because
Everywhere.
Yes, everywhere. We're everywhere.
Spotify.
And we have a really cool announcement. We will be coming out with merch very soon. So
Yes,
if you
indeed.
love what you see and you love our wonderful logos, you can have it too. Right there at home, and you can support us in that way. But thank you for watching House Wine. I'm AngelLeeTv. Make sure, again, subscribe, like, and comment down
Below.
Whoop.
Down here.
Right
Around here. Sayonara.
For more information on how to get your House Wine merch, make sure you check us out on My House Wine on Instagram, and also check out our Facebook page, House Wine AngelLeeTv LLC.